Hello again, everybody. So this is Mr. Everything coming at you with another channel update, but this is also a 148 project update. As you can see, I've got a lot of my 148 project stuff out in front of me. So it's basically going to be a channel update, letting you know what's going on with the channel, what I have plans for the future, what we did in the past, last month or two, and then also I'm going to talk a little bit about what's kind of cool and what's going on with the 148 community, the company, and myself. Other than that, let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want to let you know is over the last about the last week or so, I've been extremely sick. A couple of days I had to leave work early because of my cold. Okay, so what caused that was I believe that, my son and I tore up the kitchen floor a second time, mainly because we replaced the floor a while back and we noticed that it started to sag. So I needed to get under there a second time and put some braces or a joist, cross joist, like a load bearing beams underneath there to keep the floor from sagging, right? And we did that, which took us 2 days, and it was extremely difficult and tough to get under there. And we figured out that using a car jack, I could jack up the floor so that I could put the beams in. It took a while, but we got it all finished. And then immediately after that, I got sick. So I don't know if that weakened me, and then I started to get sick. My legs were sore. I was having a hard time walking around the house. And I didn't make a whole lot of videos in the last couple of weeks, actually. So you might have seen some videos on my channel being uploaded every day. Well, those were all filmed probably 2 weeks ago. And then I set YouTube to upload these videos. I put a schedule on them. I uploaded them all and put a schedule of when to release them to the public. And I thought that was a really cool feature of YouTube. Lets me film a lot of videos, like not a lot, but like a lot, like a section of videos, and then I can schedule when those are released. And I did that with the painting of the American figures, and I did that with painting of the German figures. They were scheduled, and that was pretty cool because each of these figures, that's 14 figures. It gave me like 2 weeks of, if I uploaded one figure painting a day, it gave me like 14 figures, like 2 weeks. And that's what's been going on for the last couple of weeks. Luckily YouTube had that option for me so that I didn't have to deal with it, basically. And being sick, I didn't want to deal with it. Okay. All right, now I did the terrain as well. So the terrain is all on one video. No, it might be on 2 videos. I might have broke it down because of the amount of time it took me to do all those. So really, the last month or so, you've seen me paint the terrain. You've seen me paint each individual model. I also did a tutorial, a boot camp on the rules of 148 Tactic. That's split into 2 halves. That was about an hour and a half, somewhere on there, 2 hours. So check that out. If you want to see the close-ups on these, go to those individual videos, and towards the end I did a close-up of each of those. One thing I have not done is the wrecked Kubelwagen terrain piece. I have not finished this. I have only assembled the windshield and I've primed it. So this guy's ready to go. He's going to be one of my next projects. He's going to be one of my next projects. I haven't set my mind to him yet, but when I do, I'll record it and we'll get that recorded and filmed up. I love the way the wood turned out on these models. I primed them with a light brown, almost a tan, and then I washed the tan, and then I dry brushed with some dark brown, some just brown, and then I touched up some tan again on where the bark has been stripped, and also the end pieces. I think they came out. They look really good. I'm really happy with that. Okay, this game is supposedly at this time the initial starter sets were set in the Ardennes. Got the 26 Volksgrenadiers and 101st around Bastogne and all that. So I'm starting to decide to do a little bit more snow style terrain pieces. So what I did was I dug up some of my 12-inch by 12-inch plies, and I sprayed them with the lightest color white that I had. I did not have a pure white, and you can see, I don't know if you can see this, it doesn't look good. It looks pretty horrible, actually. It looks like yellow snow, because the white that I used was an off-white. It was kind of like a, what they call like a vintage white or an ivory white. It was really not pure white. And so when I went to put the snow on there, it didn't really give a very good coating. So what I think I'm going to do is spray this with white again, and then put glue and sprinkle snow on it a second time to give, just to see what it looks like. I got this snow from Woodland Scenics, right? It's a Woodland Scenics snow, soft flake. The tutorial states that I should be using a flex paste base on there and then put the snow down. So I ordered some flex paste from Amazon. It should be here tomorrow. I'm going to try that possibly on these foam tiles, because you saw me make a bunch of terrain for bolt action that we used down at the convention last year. I made a whole table or 2 tables worth of terrain using this, rivers and roads and all kinds of stuff. Now I had a pack left over. There's 4 in a pack, and all I need is a 2x2 table to play a game. So I was thinking I could build the snow terrain here, and depending on how it turns out, maybe make a 3x3 table of snow. Now to do that, I want to use the flex paste on this, because what it'll do is it'll also fill in all these little gaps, and it'll make the snow look a little like snow drifts or whatever. I'm going to try to avoid too many snow drifts, because I want to be able to place terrain on top of the snow. So I'm going to avoid like undulating terrain. So I'm going to just make it pretty smooth. That's why I was planning on just using the tile. We don't even need it to be thick, because we're not digging into the table. We're not making rivers. And any roads that I can put on top. Okay, so, but that's the plan. I'm going to get some. Now, having said that, we've got a local hobby shop in town called Hobby Lobby. That's where I've been getting my, that's where I got my snow. That's where I've been getting a lot of my wood. That's where I get a lot of my paints and glues and stuff like that. I get a lot of that at Hobby Lobby, and they had a very large selection of Woodland Scenics there. You know, trees, and is mainly for train sets, but they would have trees and flock and talus and all that stuff. And guess what? I went in there yesterday thinking, why order it on Amazon when I could just walk in and buy it and support a local store and all that stuff. So I walked in, and they had 0 Woodland Scenics products. They had done a clearance, I guess, and cleared it all out. They have another brand in there, TTS, I think is what it's called, Tabletop Scenics or something like that. And it's a cheaper brand in both regards. It's not well made, first of all, and it is like half the price, which I can get behind. Some of their pieces are like way better, because you don't need it to be super high quality, but other pieces you do. And like they have 0 snow options. They have no flex paste, Because if they had some flex space, I might have bought it and then just experimented or something. But they had nothing I needed. I mean, I walked in there, looked around the whole store, and I was like, there is nothing here that I need for this project. They had no foam anymore. They didn't have any foam, which I didn't get that from them anyway, because they don't have that style of foam. So I left empty-handed. And so I had to jump on Amazon and order. And that's why it's not going to be here till tomorrow. Okay. Okay, you see that I've got this letter here, and I've got this box and blister here. I want to save this for last. I really want to talk about this. But before we go on, we're still talking about the channel. That's part of the 148 tactic. So the channel, you might have seen me rearrange these shelves 2 or 3 times. I added some shelves. I used to have like half as many shelves. I doubled it up because I figured I could use twice as many shelves. I've even considered extending the shelves down over to the side there, which would double the length of these shelves, right? And making, but I got to find some place for that bookcase. I considered, this is something I considered, I'm still considering, cutting the bookcase, making it individual, like this tall, for just rows of books underneath here. You know, instead of shelf of books, if I made 5 shelves side by side, they would fit under here, and then I could run the shelves all the way down. I wouldn't lose any space for books, and I would gain shelf space. And it's what my mind is thinking. I don't know exactly, because these few boxes that are down here, they need to go out in the garage anyway. They're just taking up space here. Okay. So that might be a project over the next month or so, trying to figure out exactly what I want to do there. Mainly because I do a lot of D&D, right? I do a lot of D&D. And to get my American War of Independence and my medievals and ancients and bolt action figures out here on the shelves where I want them, I want to be able to visualize them. I had a couple of shelves of D&D, and so I took a shelf of D&D and put them in little plastic bins. I regret that because we're playing a lot of D&D, and I've been going to those plastic bins, pulling them out, trying to find a specific type of figure, and I can't find it, right? And one reason why I have it out here is because I can easily find, segregate them into, like, all the dwarves are here, all the barbarians are there, all the orcs are here, all the skeletons are there, that kind of stuff. So that's the second reason why I think I want to rearrange the shelf a little bit. Yeah, so that's probably going to happen in the next month or two. Honestly, I don't know exactly when or how or what I'm going to do, but that's going to get rearranged. Now, since this is a channel update, you know that Phoenix Point finally came out. I am playing Phoenix Point. I'm doing exactly the same thing with Phoenix Point. I'm playing a bunch of games, and then I'm scheduling the video releases. But because I've been sick, I missed some games and some days. So just bear with me. The Phoenix Point is coming along great. I watched a guy play a game called IL-2 Sturmovik on the computer, but he's not playing World War II. He's playing World War I. It's called Flying Circus, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." It's made by the same people that did Rise of Flight, so it's got to be great. Because I have Rise of Flight. So I went and I looked and I said, you know what, this looks pretty awesome. I'm going to go ahead and buy it. So I bought IL-2 Sturmovik Flying Circus. And within one day of buying it, I am super disappointed. If you're thinking about buying it, don't buy it. That's my advice to you. Do not buy IL-2 Sturmovik Flying Circus. It's a waste of money. I know it's pretty harsh for me to say this, but let me tell you some good things about it. It has good graphics. Okay, there you go. I'm done. Now let's talk about what's bad about it. There's no single player campaign. Zero. The missions are boring. There's like 6 missions that you can fly, and it's like head on. Well, there's free flight, just flying around. Head on one, head on 2-on-2, head on 5-on-5 or some junk like that, and that's it. I mean, there's like no other missions. There's no like fly over here, blow up a train, fly over here, blow up a balloon, fly back here. No, none of that exists. They only give you 10 planes. They give you 5 Entente planes and 5 Central planes. They're all late war. Every single one of them is late war, right? So you don't get to fly any Newport 17s. No, you don't get to fly any Airco DH2s. No, you don't get an Eindecker. None of that. So why pay $80? Okay, 80 frickin' dollars on a game that isn't really even a game. Okay, advantage. There's one more advantage. Apparently, all of the multiplayer community had moved to that game, right? So there is a large multiplayer community where you can log into a server and you can play against other players, and there is a fairly large community there. That's good in the multiplayer. Okay. Downside, you have to play at a specific time and a specific day for there to be anybody online. It's like they have scheduled events, like a Thursday night fly, which I can't do. I play D&D on Thursday nights. So for me, that's bullshit. That's just a bullshit game. I ain't doing it. So you know what I did? I said, this reminds me a lot of my old Rise of Flight game. Let me pull out my Rise of Flight and let me see, what the differences are. There's none. The controls are exactly the same. I look at the planes and I'm like, comparing the 4K skins to the 1080p skins, it doesn't matter to me because guess what? I have a 1080p monitor. So I'm like, I don't really need a 4K skin. I can load a 4K skin. It'll make it look a little cleaner, but not enough to really notice. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start playing some Rise of Flight again. So I've got a Rise of Flight campaign going on right now. There's a ton of campaigns. There's 5 of them at least that I haven't paid. There's a couple that I haven't even paid for. There's the channel. I don't have that package. I have it on Steam. I bought it on Steam. I bought it originally. I have the box over there, which came with the map and the book and all that stuff. But then they went to this thing called Rise of Flight United, which is free on Steam. So I went to Steam, downloaded it, and then they said, here's the limited number of planes you get. There's like, I don't know, 5-6 planes, which really isn't a big selection, but it's free, right? And so I said, okay, cool. Wait, look at this. They got all these expansion packs. They've got the Bloody April and the Early Aces and the Dawn of Flight or whatever. And I was looking at these expansions and I was like, wow, you get like 10 planes in each of the expansions. And I was like, I wonder how much these are. $2, $3 for an expansion. I frickin' bought all of them except for the camp. I didn't buy the channel one because I don't want float planes. I could care less. But I only spent like $15 and I got frickin' almost 99% of the planes in the game I can play now. I can play the Airco DH2. I can play the Sopwith Pup. I can play a Newport 11. Newport 17, Newport 28. I can do the late war stuff, DR7 or D7, DR1, Albatross 3, 5. 2. I can play a Halberstadt, a False, you know. I can play the Sopwith triplane. The frickin' I pretty much can play. Now you can go and buy individual planes on their website for $5. And I'm like, why do that when I can buy one of these packages which comes with 10 planes for $3? So that's what I did. And I've been playing it and I've been loving it. I've been digging it. Got my Track IR, got my HOTAS out there, and I'm flying and enjoying it. It is multiplayer. So if you and your friends want to play together or against each other, you still can. You don't have to. And there is a multiplayer community that still exists there, but not very many. They've all moved on to that IL-2 Flying Corps. Now it's called Flying Corps Volume 1. So when they come out with Volume 2, if they make it so there's more campaigns and more like a career path and just put a lot more detail into the game in the AI and stuff like that, it'll probably be a lot better. But right now I don't know what's happened to the company. It's like they trimmed everything off and sold it for like $100 more than it should have been sold for. Okay, so I've been doing IL-2. I've been playing Star Citizen quite a bit because of the new patch. The Carrack came out, so I've been fiddling around with that. I've been trying to upgrade my ship. Persistence is out so that you don't lose your progress between patches, so that's a good thing. And that's pretty much all I've been playing. I haven't played City Heroes for ages, and I've been pretty much just So when it comes to the miniatures, though, it's either been D&D miniatures, which I painted a few figures off. I painted a Black Dragon. You might have seen that. And then I've also painted these guys. All right, super, very important. This is probably the most important part of this video. And one of the main reasons why I wanted to make this video, I've been putting it off for a week because of the cold. I wish I could have just jumped on and made a video right when it happened, but I couldn't. So, first of all, let's give you a little backstory. You might have seen this on a previous 148 Tactic project update, or maybe a stream of mine, where I had ordered the 2 box sets of the game, right? And then like a day later, I said, you know what? I want to order a bunch more terrain, and I want to order all the expansion figures. So I did that on the second order. And then everything was good. 2 weeks later, because it takes a while to come from Italy, I get that. So like 2 weeks later, I get my first order. I get my 2 box sets, right? And I'm like, yeah, now I can start doing videos. We can start painting. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's start doing this. Okay, so 3, 4, 5 days after that, I have not gotten my second box. So I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on? Well, I'm going to give it a little extra time. It's now November, because I ordered it late October, and early November, didn't get anything. So like by November, I think it was around November 17th, I said, guys, where's my second box? I haven't got it yet. I don't know if it got lost in shipment, or if, we need to file a claim on it or something, or, what's going on. And Claudio over at Boeta Wargames, super, super cool, says, oh yeah, I noticed that you got an order here, and we hadn't boxed it up. Somehow we overlooked it. And I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. So send it out in November, right? November 17th or ish, right? Okay, cool. I'll wait another couple of weeks and we'll see what happens, right? So, I mean, because mistakes happen. Everybody, no matter who you are, mistakes happen. So he says to me, sorry that, we overlooked it, and we're gonna make things right with you because, that's our mistake, and basically apologizing, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. And so he sends off this package, or doesn't. I don't know. Because by December 17th, I hadn't received it. I'm like, man, it's a month later. I gave him the 2 weeks for shipping and all that, and then another 2 weeks for who knows what. Nothing happens. I don't get the box. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's up. So I said, it's holidays, Christmas shipping, and all that stuff. Let's just give it a little extra time. So January 2nd, I get the order. So just to put a little time, end of October, like October 17th, November, December, January. So it was like, October, November, December, January. It was like 2.5 months before I got it from the original order. Okay, at least I got it, right? So I was like, okay, cool. So I got my 3 figures from the Germans, 3 figures from the Americans. I got all the terrain that I asked for. I got everything. And there was 2 freebie packs in the box. You always get one, it seems like. They always like to throw something in there just to make every customer happy. They give like a little free sample. I got 2 of those. And I was like, is this what's making things right? I was like, this can't be it, right? Or this is kind of disappointing. I was expecting maybe a little $5 donut, or I was expecting maybe a $5 miniature of some kind, maybe a log barricade, just something like that. That's what I was expecting. Just to make things right. Didn't get any of that. Made a video about it. Complained. Well, didn't really complain, but just let you guys know accidents happen. This is why I haven't started on my stuff. This is why I haven't did a tutorial yet. Why I haven't really started painting anything, because I wanted to get kind of everything in before I started painting. So that was really an explanation to my audience. And then a week ago, out of the blue, was not expecting anything, right? Okay, first of all, let's back up. Before that, like a month ago, I joined this thing called the NCO program. The NCO program is kind of like their goodwill ambassadors. Now, first of all, I wouldn't have joined this NCO program if I didn't believe in the company, didn't believe in the people behind it, didn't believe in the game, the miniature quality. If I didn't believe in all of this, if I didn't think this was a good company, good people, I would never have joined an NCO program. I joined. I said, you know what? This is a good company. They've done me right. Mistakes happen. I get it. No big deal. Let's get this game let's get this game out there to people. Let's show people how to play this thing. Let's show them why it's cool, what the advantages of this game are compared to other games. I'm planning on doing a comparison video, which I haven't done yet, to like its big competitor, which I would think would be Bolt Action. But we're going to look around and do some comparisons. But I feel invested in the game, right? I felt like I was willing to do demos or anything like that. So I said, you know what? I'm going to join this NCO program, and we're going to get this show. We're going to really push it here in the United States. Mike and I, he's one of my friends. Okay, so we did. and then I order some Fallschirmjägers, which I've ordered. They're still on the way, right? I ordered the Fallschirmjäger packet, and I said, instead of having a PDF version of the rules in a 3-ring binder that I'm using now, I said, why don't I get the official book? So I added the book onto my order. So I got the book and the Fallschirmjägers on the way. Because if I'm going to be doing a demo, I don't want to have the 3-ring binder out. Even though I will have it there, I want to have the actual hard copy of the rules. And then I said, okay, let's place this order. And then about a week after I place that order, I get a box or a package. It's not even a box, it's just a package. I get a package in the mail from Boeda. And I'm like, oh, is this my Fallschirmjägers? Is this my book? I was like, wait, no way. It's gotten here way too quick, based on my past experiences. But it got here so quick, I was like, what the heck's going on? So I open it up. And you know what I find inside? I find a letter. And this is not a form letter. This is a letter specifically directed at me, right? And it's dated 15 February, right? Which is 2 weeks ago. So it would have been right about after I ordered the Fallschirmjägers, probably. Or right before I ordered the Fallschirmjägers. I don't even know. But it's Boeda, and it says, Dear Derek. And it goes in and it explains the situation that happened with my mix-up on the order, right? And so this is not a form letter. This is not just copy and pasted from something. Claudio went through here and he specifically typed this up, directing it at me. And he's going to take the occasion to apologize for the unfortunate series of circumstances that took place in relationship to your second order. So going through here, he's basically saying, we're sorry this happened, and that there are only two people at that company. Boeda has Claudio and his silent partner. They're the only two people working there. And I'm kind of surprised at the quality of the work that they're putting out with just these two people. That blows my mind right there. And I'm super appreciative that he took time to type this up for one customer. I'm just some guy. I'm just some smuck, right? But he took the time to apologize. And then on top of it, right? Okay, I would have been happy with just that. Really, really, I would have been. In the box or in the package, it's an envelope, really. It had Race for the Gasoline, the mission pack. I don't know if you're familiar with this mission pack, but this is like a $35 box. It comes with 3 gasoline dumps. Now, you might have already known that I already have one and that I already, painted it up and everything. I bought this in anticipation of maybe getting this in the future and having an extra one. It comes with 3 of them. It comes with a miniature figure of Helmut Gotts. He's carrying a gasoline can, right? It comes with a book on a bunch of scenarios, some tokens, some extra gasoline cans, So this set, and I'll do a review of this set here in another video, but that was way over compensating for any mistake. This, to me, this was a gesture. I'm going to tell you now, I'm just going to tell my community out there. If you're looking for a company that takes care of its customers, listens to them, wants them to be happy over everything else, Boeda Wargames is who you need to look at. Boeda, those guys Claudio and the Silent Bob, I don't know, it's partner Piazzo or something. I'm not sure what the second guy's name is. I apologize for that. But it's not Premezzo. No, here, Zanatello. Yeah, I think it's Zanatello. But I'm not sure. If you're looking for a company to get behind and to support, Boeda. I have bought some Boeda products in the past for like my Field of Glory. I bought some little tents and stuff, some medieval tents or some ancient Roman little tent figures, and it's like a campsite, and you make it for your headquarters camp for like Field of Glory. I bought some Boeda models for that, but that's about all I knew about Boeda. I said, oh, they make 15 millimeter or whatever buildings, or tents or stuff. I didn't know anything about them. And then when I found out about 148 Tactic and I dug a little deeper into Boeda, they got a lot of stuff. They do have a lot of stuff, and they're putting a lot of effort into 148 Tactic. That is their hot project right now. And they've recruited a couple of guys, or these couple of guys volunteered to do it, from Tabletop Battles. They're up in Norway. If you haven't checked out their channel or their store, I recommend it. These two guys, Sven and Martin, they're hilarious, okay? They got a great sense of humor, and they're looking to just have some fun, but they're really strongly supporting this. They even, on the Boeda 148 Tactic YouTube channel, they're the face of the channel, and they're the ones that are managing and supporting the NCO program. Go look at their store. Go look at their videos. They got a lot. I watched a lot of their bolt action videos and their 148 Tactic videos. They seem like, I've never met them personally, but they seem like they're really cool guys. Okay, so yesterday, my buddy Mike, he says, hey, Sven is trying to get a hold of you on Facebook. And I was like, why would Sven, from Tabletop Battles, be trying to get a hold of me directly? I understand he put something out for the group of NCOs or whatever, but why is he reaching out to me specifically, right? So I hope I don't have Facebook Messenger on my phone, because I just don't want to have a ton of apps that I never use on there. But I said, you know what? I'll go ahead and install it. What the hell? If that's how he's going to be able to communicate with us, is through Messenger, might as well install it. So I installed it. And then I went to look at the message, and oh my gosh, he said Claudio talked to him about my issue. He said, I got this guy, me, he had this shipping problem, and, just make sure that everything's okay, right? So Sven contacts me and says, hey, Claudio talked to me about this problem. Are you already taken care of? Or, do you have, is everything all right? What's going on? And I had already received this like a week ago. I hadn't made a video yet, but I received it like a week ago. So I said, text back to him, yeah, everything's great, I appreciate you, saying something. I don't really remember exactly what I said on the text back to him, but that was just icing on the cake. That was like, I knew I was already taken care of. I knew that I already fell in love with a new company, Boeda. It's not a new company, but a new company for me. I was like, I already fell in love with this company. I'm good to go, I'm rock solid. And then I get that text. I don't know. It made my day. Let me just say that. It made my day so much that even though I'm still sick, I'm making this video so that you, maybe one of my audience, one of my 7,000 subscribers or however many subscribers I've got nowadays, will look into 148 Tactic. It's dirt cheap, first of all. You get into this game for $40. That's rules, terrain, and miniatures. $40. You got your army. You got either American or German 26th, or nowadays Fallschirmjägers. They've got a Kickstarter. It's going to start any day now, which is going to have expansion cards. So there's going to be cards like this, but no figure associated with it. So then you'll just have to look at the figure and find a model. And another thing, I ordered some Tamiya 148 scale Panzer Grenadiers. $14. $14 for like 20 models. It's ridiculous how cheap this is. If you need terrain, go to your model railroading company that you buy your flock from or whatever, and get some O scale. That's right, I said it. O scale, not this, but this. O scale terrain is 148 scale. So, yeah. So if you get like a Jeep in O scale, or if you get a building in O scale for those giant trains, that's this scale. Or get an O scale train set. That'll be this scale. All right, I said enough. I did the project update, but I also did the 148 tactic update. My next thing, I'm skipping this guy. My next project is to make some snowboard tables. That is on the agenda. I'm going to do a video on the Race for the Gasoline Adventure Pack. They call it a mission pack. And then eventually I'll probably paint this on stream. My Fallschirmjägers are coming in. I'm going to paint those individually. And that's really all I've got going on in the modeling world. In the computer gaming world, you're going to see more Rise of Flight, more Phoenix Point, more Star Citizen. Those are the 3 games I'm really focusing on the computer. I finished and we're going to be rearranging the shelves back here. Alright guys, thanks for coming out and checking out this video. I love every one of you. And if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to help support me through all my endeavors, go ahead and hit the PayPal me link in the description below. And expect to see us at NashCon this year running 148 Tactic. See you next time.